Welcome, student. As we saw earlier, this lesson, the states after Maurya Empire, we come to this point, that is the Vardhan dynasty. Okay, Vardhan dynasty. After the declining of the Gupta power, the Vardhan dynasty comes into exist near Delhi. Okay, near Delhi. The place is Thanesar. Their capital was Thanesar. Let us look while reading. Okay, so 8.5, the Vardhan dynasty. With the decline of Gupta power, many states emerged in North India. The Vardhan dynasty was one of them. Prabhakar Vardhan was the king of Thanesar near Delhi. The Vardhan dynasty was founded by him. So the founder of this Vardhan dynasty was Prabhakar Vardhan. So students, underline this Vardhan, Prabhakar Vardhan name. Okay. The Vardhan dynasty was founded by him. His son Harshvardhan expanded the Vardhan empire up to Nepal in the north, up to river Narmada in the south, Assam in the east, and Gujarat in the west. Okay, he had cordial relations with Raja Bhaskar Varman of Kamrup. Kamrup is the ancient name of Assam. Okay, Kamrup. Okay. He had also established friendly relations with the Emperor of China and even sent his ambassador to the Chinese court. Okay. The capital of Harshvardhan's empire was Kannauj. Now it is in the states of Uttar Pradesh. Okay, trade flourished during his reign. Reign means during his period. Okay, he spent large portion of his revenue for the welfare of the people. Every 5 years, he would distribute all his wealth amongst the people. So look at the donation. Okay. After every 5 years, he distribute all his wealth amongst the people. Okay. So the Vardhan family, basically a valued family. They follow some valuable paths. Okay, and they have a large empire to rule. The capital of Harshvardhan's empire was Kannauj. Okay. We must understood this sentence. The court poet Bana Bhatta wrote Harshcharita. Harshcharit was written by Bana Bhatta poet, a biography of Emperor Harshvardhan. This text provides informations on the life and achievements of Harshvardhan. He was a great emperor. Okay, Harshvardhan had become a follower of Buddhism, but gave generous patronage to other religions too. He wrote 3 Sanskrit plays: Ratnavali, Nagananda, and Priyadarshika. So he is also a good writer. Also, he writes 3 Sanskrit plays, that is Ratnavali, Nagananda, and Priyadarshika. The Buddhist bhikkhu Yuan Chuang had come to India from China during his regime. Okay, so when the Samrat Harshvardhan ruled in India, North India, the Chinese traveler Yuan Chuang had come to India during his period. Here is the photograph of Yuan Chuang. Okay, he is a great traveler, which gives us more uh, informations at the ancient period or Harshvardhan's dynasty. Okay, Vardhan family, all parts of India. He traveled throughout India, gathered informations about the Buddhism. He is a genuine follower of Buddhism. He stayed at Nalanda University for near about 2 years. On returning to his homeland, he translated many Buddhist manuscripts into Chinese language. Okay, this is how the Indian culture spread throughout the whole world. Okay, so Chinese become Buddhist country at that period. So here is a picture of Yuan Chuang. Yuan Chuang traveled all over India. He has a word of praise for the people of Maharashtra. He writes, the people of Maharashtra are a proud people. They never forget a favor done to them, but they do not spare anyone who insult them. They will help another in distress without care even of their own life. They do not harm anyone who takes refuge with them. So this is the Bharatiya culture. Bharatiya culture, that is, if someone comes to refugee to us, we have to protect that refugee at the cost of our life also. This is the Bharatiya culture. Okay. Next page. Here is a picture, okay, of Nalanda University in Bihar. Look at the huge remains of the Nalanda University. Okay. So here is the remain of Nalanda University, which is situated in Bihar. Anciently, we have basically many universities. Okay, many disciples lived in the university and get the knowledge. Basically, we know the two of them, that is the Nalanda University and Takshashila. The Takshashila now belongs in the Pakistan occupied land. Okay, so Pakistan occupied land, there we have Purushpur or the Takshashila and such cities which originally belongs to us. Okay, so Takshashila is the very large university from where many disciples comes. Like we already know that the Chanakya or Kautilya also from belongs to this Takshashila University. Okay. So the last point, that is 8.6, the powers in northeast India. Nowadays there is Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Tripura, Meghalaya, Mizoram. Okay, the powers in the northeast India at this period from the first era to 1000. The period is the first CE, that is Christian era, up to 1000 CE. A story in Mahabharata tells about the marriage of Arjun and Ulupi. So here we get the informations about the northeast states. That is, this Ulupi is the princess of Manipur state. Nowadays it is called as a Manipur. Okay, this Ulupi belongs to these Manipur states. Nowadays Manipur states in the East India. Okay, the states of Kamrupa emerged in the 4th century CE. CE means Christian era. Okay, the English calendar, Gregorian calendar. Okay, it was established by Pushyavarman. Pushyavarman, his name has been mentioned in the pillar inscriptions of Samudragupta at Allahabad. Allahabad means nowadays it is considered as a Prayagraj. Okay, many inscriptions of the Kamarup kings are available. The epics Mahabharata and Ramayana use the name Pragjyotish for the Kamrup. Kamrup means Assam. Nowadays it is considered as a Assam. Anciently it is referred as a Pragjyotishpur. Okay, the capital of that state was Pragjyotishpur. Today we know as the city of Guwahati in Assam. So the ancient name of the Guwahati was Pragjyotishpur. Okay, so the Pragjyotish was the capital of Kamrupa. In the book Periplus of Erythraean Sea, in the book Periplus of the Erythraean Sea, we must first underline this Erythraean Sea. The Kamarupa is mentioned as Kiratdiya. Okay, the region of Kirat people. So the dynasty which is the peoples belongs to Kirat. Okay, as we come to know about the Kirat in the Ramayana also and in the Mahabharata also. Okay, the Kamarup kingdom extended in the Brahmaputra river basin, Bhutan, some part of Bengal and Bihar. Some part of Bengal means nowadays that parts are referred as a Bangladesh. Okay, the separate land which is conquered, which is under the control by after the divide of India, it is separated from India. Actually, that lands belongs to India. Okay, Bharata, Bihar. So this is the extension of the Kirat peoples or Kamarup kingdoms. That is Brahmaputra river basin, Bhutan, some part of Bengal and Bihar. During the reign of King Bhaskar Varman, Yuan Chuang has visited Kamrup. In this chapter, we learned about the different kingdoms in the North India that emerged in the after the period of Mauryas. Similarly, we also learned about the situations in the northeastern part of India during that period. The next chapter we will get acquainted with the kingdoms of south of the same period. Okay, so we will going to look at this period in the next lesson, that is the what we call the South ancient kingdoms of the South India. They have a great dynasties in the south also at that time, that is Satavahana, Cheri, Pandya, Chola, Vakatak, Chalukya, Pallava, Rashtrakuta. They flourished whole Bharat in a prosperous manner. So, and these kingdoms are responsible to spread Bharatiya culture throughout the world. Okay, nowadays the many big temples are found in the Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Cambodia, in that region. Basically, these South Indian kingdoms, that is Chola, Pandya, Vakataka, Satavahana, Rashtrakuta, are spread the Bharatiya culture, that is Hindu culture, throughout the world. So today we also found many archaeological remains throughout world. Okay, so here we completed this 8th lesson, the states which are emerged after the Maurya Empire. That is the Shunga dynasty, Indo-Greek kings, Kushan kings, Gupta dynasty, Vardhan dynasty. Basically, these dynasties are ruled over India about near about the thousand years, near about the 1,000 years. Okay, and because of these great kings, our India becomes the one of the richest country uh, at that period. Okay, at that time the whole world having the trade with Bharata. Okay, because of this, when the Constantinople was captured by Ottoman Empire, whole world was in search of Bharata, the route towards the Bharata, because at that ancient period, Bharat was the center of the trade of the whole world, culturally and in the economically also. Okay, now we completed these lessons, and students, you have to you have to do the homework as I state earlier. That is the 3 questions. That is, you have to make at least 25 to 30 questions on this lesson. That is, answer in one sentence, question answer in this format. And secondly, you have to write a short notes, at least 5 short notes. That is the Indo-Greek kings, Kanishka, Kushan kings, Gupta dynasty, Vardhan dynasty, and Northeast Indian state, that is the Kamrup. Okay, such short notes you have to write down. Okay, so this will be your homework. Okay.